Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem. We welcome to the stage recording artist and jazz icon, fresh off her sold-out Carnegie Hall debut, Marilyn May.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, o'er the land of the free, o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave. Good evening. I'm so happy to be with you. This is a very special night. I wrote this and I can't see without it. So, when I look at all you healthy, handsome, and beautiful people, I can see how dedicated you are to all your sports. This is a grand night to celebrate your love for what you love, for doing what you love. I assume you love what you do. My sport is singing, and it's athletic too. I've done it all my life, and tonight I'm honored to be with you. I'm so sure you realize that tonight it is indeed a wonderful world. So, twinkle, twinkle, all the stars, how I wonder who you are. Up above, the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Your lovely view helps you to see the things that mean the world to me. I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and for you, and I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world. I see clouds of white, bright blessed days, stark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, the colors of the rainbow so pretty in the sky are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I will ever know. And I think to myself, God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. Oh, God bless America, my home, sweet home. While the dark clouds gather far across the sea, let us pledge allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer where the colors of the rainbow, they are so pretty in the sky, are also in the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? Yeah. They're really saying, I love you. America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. Oh, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Yeah. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. Cheers.
Welcome to the New York Athletic Club and the 77th Annual James E. Sullivan Awards, celebrating sports at its purest level.
These awards have been presented annually by the Amateur Athletic Union since 1930.
We have world champions here tonight. We have Olympic champions here tonight. We have world record holders.
Well, tonight it's perfect. We have athletes who in just about every case have done things that we've never seen before.
This is a wonderful moment for all of you. It's not just what you've done in your athletic arenas, it's the things we hear about you away from that arena.
The Sullivan Award represents the celebration of our athletes in its purest form. It's been awarded since 1930 to collegiate athletes, to Olympians, to the greatest performances on the field. But what is more important is that it doesn't just celebrate their performance, it celebrates their character. It celebrates the values that they bring.
For us to have an award, you know, like a Sullivan Award, like an Oscar of athletics, I mean, it's such a, it's been around for so long, so many years, so many great people.
I mean, people winning Heismans, multiple gold medalists, and to be a part of that group is just phenomenal.
Congrats to all the finalists. I mean, I'm looking at like everybody's track record. You got gold medalists, world champions, Heisman Trophy winner.
As an athlete, we put in so much work every day towards a goal years down the line, and to be recognized and have everyone come together for something like this is really special.
This is an outstanding award. It's very unique in the fact that it takes athletes from all different sports and puts it up for one award. And
I feel like amateur athletes put so much hard work into what they do and their sport, and everything goes on behind the scenes. So one gets to really see it, and I feel like this is one of the awards that really recognizes that hard work.
You know, you hear about athletes all the time, you know, doing great things on the field, and the cool thing about people that I've got to meet here is what they do off the field.
You know, it takes their sport, you know, into consideration, but also, you know, how they live their life, which is very important.
It feels amazing just to be recognized with all these character traits in our sport.
I'm honored to be a part of this group. I mean, just getting to talk to every one of them, everyone knows them as amazing athletes, but they're even more amazing people.
That's what this award represents. It represents integrity, it represents passion, it represents being true to your ideals.
I think honoring just the raw athlete as what they were before all the fame and the money and everything, I think is really special.
Thank you to New York Athletic Club. I am a member and a world champ for you guys, so it feels good every time to come back to the AC.
New York Athletic Club is just an amazing historical site. I think it should be a national treasure. This is the birthplace of amateur sports, and we are very proud and happy to be back at the New York Athletic Club to celebrate our great history and, moving forward, our phenomenal future. I would like to announce the winner of this year's James E. Sullivan Award. The first Hawaiian to win this, and the first person from the sport of surfing, Carissa Moore.
To the AAU, thank you so much for this incredible honor.
You know, it's a huge honor for us that are really working hard, that, you know, maybe don't get the support that, well, you know, the professional athletes do. You know, we put our heart and soul into what we do every day, and so to have people see that is really huge for us.
And I think that that's one thing that the AAU does very well, is they consider athletes in such a wide variety of sports, and they bring recognition to sports that maybe wouldn't have necessarily had that spotlight shined on them.
Since 1888, the Amateur Athletic Union has been setting the standards and the bar for what greatness in sports, and specifically amateur sports, entails. Our philosophy of sports for all forever impacted 800,000 athletes, 150,000 volunteers through 45 sports throughout the United States.
This will have an incredible impact on my sport because, again, it shows that you're never too old to strive for something. You're never too old to have goals out there, and you will have a chance to be recognized, and that's what we all look for.
People don't remember titles that you've won 3 years down the road. What people remember is your character, your passion, your heart, everything that the Sullivan Award defines.
I feel on top of the world, very humbled because the other 7 people that were part of this class are amazing athletes and amazing people.
It would be easy to take responsibility for this award as the culmination of my accomplishments, but it's not. And I can assure you my achievements were not my own. These accomplishments and this award belongs with many people.
For kids out there who'd like to win the James E. Sullivan Award, I'd tell you 3 things: to work as hard as you possibly can, to always chase improvement, and to surround yourself with the best people and best team.
If I had to describe the Sullivan Award with one word, I would say it's inspiration, because that's what it provides for all of us.
I am an amateur athlete in its purest form, and I perform because I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your MC for this evening, Jacqueline Diocastino.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Maryland is certainly a tough act to follow, but I will do my best, and I'll save you from my singing. My name is Jacqueline Diocastino. I'm so honored to be your MC for this evening at the 93rd James E. Sullivan AAU Awards. I am a host and an anchor for CBS Sports, so I cover a plethora of sports, and we have partnerships with Max Prep, so all the way at the high school and below level, and then our partnerships with 24/7 Sports, where we really get to see into the recruiting level as well. So I'm so honored to be here covering swimming, the Olympics, the College World Series, March Madness, and being able to be a part of this ceremony that really celebrates athletes from all across the country and with every sport out there. I've also had the honor and the pleasure of meeting the finalists and getting to know them over the past couple of days, and they are just exceptional people, exceptional human beings. So it's been an honor just to get to know them as well and have an award that honors them for who they are as people. It's my pleasure right now to introduce someone to the stage who has spent 5 decades with this incredible organization, with the AAU. That is President Joe Mirza.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, how about Ms. Marilyn May? Isn't that incredible for what she just did? I'm Joe Mirza. I'm president and CEO of the AAU. Before I start, I want to introduce some very key players in amateur sports in the United States. My partners in the work that I do, our first Vice President, Bobby Stone, and our General Secretary, James Parker. Please, if you would stand up, please. The chair of our Sullivan Committee, Mr. Jim Fox, an incredible human being. Organizations are made up of people. No organization can thrive, grow, or even exist without the support of the multitude of people that come in every day and work. At this time, I would like if you would please stand up, be recognized, and stay standing up. First, the Sullivan Committee. If the present members, could you please stand up for a second? Please. The board of, please remain standing up. Our AAU Board of Directors, our board members, please, if you would join them. Please join. Our AAU governors and our AAU national sports chairs. If you're here, please stand up. This is the leadership of the AAU that comes in and does the work every day of the year. Please sit down. Thank you on here. You guys are awesome. But, you know, we have sponsors. We have people that are supporting this organization. Our staff has been incredible. We have been the great privilege and the honor to have the IAAU Foundation, Sheldon Stolbitz, the chairperson, represented here by Mr. Marshawn Atkins, as well as the Georgia AAU and as well as the Maryland AAU to support us in this. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And what's really incredible is we have these amazing young athletes here. but also in the audience, we have some incredible athletes. Starting in no particular order, because everyone is incredible. Charlie Ward and Mrs. Ward, where are you? They're right there. There you go. Mr. Ward is the 64th recipient of the James E. Sullivan Award. Yes. He played football and basketball at the Florida State University. He won the Heisman Trophy. And then he went on to basketball, play 11 years for the Knicks. So he's just an incredible, I mean, if there's an athlete, you're talking about a phenomenal person, you're talking about Mr. Ward. Who else? Okay, we have Mr. Carl Nesbitt. Drafted in 2016, Nasibian. Okay. Okay. The reason why is because he changed the name from being an Armenian. No. Carl was drafted in 2016 by the Cleveland Browns, played for Las Vegas Raiders as well as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He just recently retired, and off the field he's working closely with the Trevor Project, a non-for-profit that helps LGBTQ youth in crisis. An amazing amount of work on there. And we're gonna have, Carl is gonna come up here a little bit later to speak to us. He's an amazing person. We have here someone who pushed my Cubs out of the '69 World Series. The legend in baseball, Mr. Art Shamsky. Incredible. We only have a certain amount of time, or I would go on in all the stuff that he's done. But he hit 4 home runs in a row in a game, something like that. Tied the major league record. So it's kind of a nice thing to do. But anyways, also with him is Fred Cambria from the Pittsburgh Pirates on here, please, if you would come on here. He was inducted into Suffolk Sports Hall of Fame on Long Island, class of 2014. Incredible. Where's Mr. A.B. Whitfield from the Dallas Cowboys? Please, if you would, there we go. And what he's doing, and now that's okay, but you know what, here's the key that everyone was talking about. What you win on a sports field is amazing. What you do is incredible, but you go on in life. Mr. Whitfield is the CEO of Trey Whitfield School in Brooklyn. What he is a community leader that's giving back to the kids of New York, and that's incredible, and that's what we expect all our athletes to do. True. Where's Anthony Irvin? He's Olympic gold medalist in swimming. Is he here? Where are you? All right, stand up, please. There you go. Not only Olympic gold, but world champion gold medalist as well. We have Jason Reed, Olympic and Pan American gold medalist in rowing. Where are you? Not here? Oh. That's okay. Well, okay. We have Toki Hill, world karate champion, 1980 on here. First amendment. Also in attendance, and it's really we couldn't do this without them, is the president of the New York Athletic Club, John Duggan, and the entire board. I believe is up here. If you could please all stand up. I just want to give you and thank you for having us back. Please, if you could please rise, please. Their hospitality is second to none, and we really want to thank you. And Mr. Duggan will be coming up here hopefully later to give us a few comments. If he would honor us with that, please. Before we go on, just a quick history. AAU was born in 1888, right here. So this is our birthplace, our hospital, the hospital room that we were born in. So right here in New York Athletic Club. We're 135 years old and we're still going strong. Like sport, the AAU transcends any boundary. The barriers we do not have. We don't have borders. What we do is we provide a safe, nurturing, inclusive space devoted to our family. And our families are members. And our families are kids that participate in our sport. To us, sport is a social glue that is keeping us together. It does. We have this in common. Everybody watches sport. We love sport. It brings us together. It creates community for us on here. But what's important about sport is it's just not a physical thing that we do. Sport, in reality, joins our body, our mind, our hearts, and our souls into one. It brings us together, makes us whole. It really does. For me, it has. Sport, as a competition, really has its own language. There's no words. There's no letters in there. There's no sentences in there. It's just sport. It's the ultimate space on earth for equality. That's what sport is. We are on there. We're equal. Irrespective of our origin, religious belief, economic, social standing, we are equal in sport. There's no way I can perform like these young people. We're equal. We are participating. And that's the key. That's what we try and teach our children. We raise tomorrow's champions and tomorrow's leaders. Not just champions in sport, but champions in life. One athlete at a time on today's playgrounds and on today's playing fields. That's our goal. That's the AAU's goal. Tonight's very special to us. We're here to celebrate these incredible athletes. And if you heard the common thread through all the past and previous winners, they talked about the heart, the soul, the character that goes in here. Their athletic prowess is going to be surpassed by their character, by their soul, by their heart, and what they're going to contribute to our world. That's the key. That's the key when we move forward in life. Let's applaud these athletes. I'll tell you why. Because and I had the opportunity. I sat down, listened to them, to talk to their moms, eat, get interviewed. And what I saw here is an incredible group of young men and women. And if this is indicative of our athletes, we have a great future in this country. Thank you, and just give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like Mr. Nassib to come up. And please, if you would give us the honor of giving us a few words, please, if I may.
Thank you very much. Yeah, of course. How's everybody doing? This is awesome. I really appreciate it. I have an iPad. I don't print paper anymore. Don't even know where the closest printer is these days. My name is Carl Nassib. I am new to New York. It's great to be here. I took a tour today, and this is a beautiful facility. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can become a member. I'm just, recently retired. I played 7 years in the NFL, and I'm now a non-athletic regular person, also known as a NARP, and or a muggle. And I was very proud of my career. Played for 3 different teams, was a captain, and I really thought I'd killed it until I'd read your guys' bios. And now I'm feeling like very, very lesser. But this is a really cool opportunity to speak in front of everybody here. What speaks to me about this award is really the character and what builds character on and off the field. And I kind of wanted to speak a little bit to my experiences as an athlete and kind of getting thrown into a position that I never really dreamed of. I always dreamed of being an athlete, but so much can come from things that you don't expect. And so, unlike most of the athletes here, I was a very late bloomer. I was 5'9" as a freshman in high school and left at 6'6". I never even started a game of football in high school. And it was tough watching me on the track team. I was definitely the slowest on the track team, and got cut from basketball freshman year. So like I was really, really fortunate my senior year to kind of scrape together the world's shortest highlight film. And I took that film, and luckily I was able, oh, now I'm speaking into it. I was able to become a walk-on at Penn State. And my first year was 2011. I don't know if any of you guys were walk-ons. But back then, walk-ons were not that respected. I mean, we couldn't even work out with the scholarship players. I had to pay for every team dinner. I had to sneak into the dining hall, and this was, not too long ago. And so it was a really, really humbling experience to be a walk-on, to grind, to work hard, and then you were kind of, again, maybe feeling a little bit lesser than. But one of the more humbling experiences in my college career, I just finished my sophomore year, and I went to my head coach's office, and this was after our spring season, heading into summer training. And I was 19, and I went into his office, and I said, Coach, sat down, and I said, Coach, my dream is to play in the NFL. I know I haven't played very much here, but that's my dream. He said, let me stop you right there. He said, for you to even say that to me is disrespectful. He said, you're going to have to try your absolute hardest just to be on scout team here. Now get the fuck out of my office. And he kicked me out of his office. And, as an athlete, you have to drown out the noise constantly. Bunch of non-athletic regular people telling you how to do your job. And so that was a different experience. That was somebody I respected. That was somebody that I looked up to. And hearing those words really lit a fire in me. And so that summer, I gained 15 pounds of muscle. I lost 10 pounds of fat. I worked out, 6 days a week, twice a day. And that camp, I was a man possessed. Every rep was, my hair was on fire, and I had 60 sacks in one camp. And, I always liked bringing the energy, and at the end of the camp, they gave me the Juice Man Award. And so it was a new thing. They just gave me a bag of oranges, and I was like, does this come with a cash prize? And so at the very, very end of camp, I get a phone call, and it says, hey, Carl, head coach wants to see you. And so I immediately called my dad because I was a walk-on and I was paying for my own school. And I had spent 2 years at Penn State and ran out of money. So I had not paid my fall bill. So I called my dad and I said, dude, can you help me? Like, is there anything you can do? He said, let me call you back. Never called me back. And so I'm walking upstairs, legs are shaking, and I'm like, well, this was fun while it lasted. At least I went out on a high note. At least I killed it these last few weeks, and I got some oranges. And so I went up into his office, I sat down, and I was ready to go home, and he said, Carl, the last few weeks, you really turned it on. You proved me wrong, and I'm going to put you on scholarship. And so that moment, I don't know, if you know anybody who's a walk-on who got a scholarship, that is like the ultimate prize. That is one of the most proudest moments of my life. And oh, hell yeah! This is a great crowd. You guys are awesome. I usually, I speak in front of corporate people sometimes, but it's great to be in front of athletes. So that was one of the best moments. And one of my best friends, who's also a walk-on with me, I would not be here today if it wasn't for him. He and I got it on the same day, and he was actually waiting in the locker room, and like it was the best, like one of the best days of my life. So that was my sophomore year. I still wasn't a starter until my senior year. In my senior year, I broke the Penn State single-season sack record in 10 games. I was, in your guys' position. I won 4 national awards. I was up here holding heavy trophies, and it was great. Then I got drafted by the Cleveland Browns, and then we went 1-15, and we really stepped it up and went 0-16. So being branded in the NFL as a loser is a very, very hard thing. And you'll know in sports, people want to be associated with winners. They want to be associated with people that know how to win. So I had probably the worst record of any NFL player in history. Then I got fired on national, international television on Hard Knocks. And so I got picked up by the Buccaneers. I played my ass off, became a captain, signed a deal with the Raiders, and then went back to the Buccaneers. And I somehow, but in the blink of an eye, am standing here, and it was the fastest 7 years ever. And, you know, people tell you when you're young, like, it goes by fast. And I'm not even gonna repeat it, because I never listened to it. But it all goes by so fast. And so when you're here, and you're recently retired, I'm going over like the most impactful moments. And a lot of them have happened recently. A couple years ago, I posted on my Instagram and I came out as gay to the world, and it was a really, really positive experience for me, for my family, for everybody. A lot of people told me not to do it. They said, you know, why would you put yourself in that position? You know, people are gonna come after you, people want to do X, Y, Z. And I said, you know, don't ever be afraid to do something in life just because it might make your life a little bit harder. And so since that experience, I've had some of the most rewarding, you know, moving experiences, even bigger than what I had in football. And when you grow up, I mentioned, like, I never really expected that to be part of my life. I never expected to be standing in front of people talking about my life. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to play sports. I wanted to, you know, mess people up. I just really wanted to be the best athlete I could be. And so I just want to articulate to you that, like, this is like one of the most rewarding things. For example, it's a funny story. I very recently was in Chipotle, and this guy comes up to me, and he says, Carl, and I'm like, hey man, what's up? I'm just trying to get my burrito. And he says, you know, I came out to my mom yesterday. And I said, dude, that's amazing, like, congratulations. You know, I'm really happy for you. And he said, you know, I watched your video before I did it. And I'm like, you trying to make me cry in this Chipotle right now? In those little moments, I had people going up to my dad, going up to my mom. I have a small company that I run, and I interviewed 2 people yesterday, and they both, the first thing that they said, they thanked me because both of their siblings had come out recently. And so this is like something I never really anticipated. It's something that I felt obligated to do. I felt like I was so lucky and thankful for all the blessings, all the success, and I felt like it was my duty to give back. And so, as an athlete, you have a very, very small window of opportunity. Most athletes know, you know, you have a small window of opportunity to be the best. But when, you know, all is said and done, the things that you do for other people, the way that you're remembered, the impact that you give on people as people, is the stuff that really, really, you know, makes you smile at the end of the day. So I hope I did a good job kind of articulating my story, how it, you know, has impacted me, and how much, like, I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to, you know, tell my story. And congratulations to you guys. I'm excited to meet. I've only met a couple of you, but I'm excited to, you know, catch up. So thank you very much, and you guys have a great night.
Clearly not an NFL player with this mic. Thank you, Carl. You know, I have the pleasure of being his seatmate, and he said, I'm going to bring the juice. I didn't know I would learn about the oranges and the full story, so thanks. I feel like I had the inside scoop. I know President Mirza spoke a little bit about the really important relationship with the AAU and the New York Athletic Club, and how this is the birthplace of the AAU. So somebody who certainly knows the ins and outs of that relationship, I'd like to welcome to the stage the New York Athletic Club President, John Duggan.
Okay, thank you, and good evening. This is a who's who in the sports world as we went around the introductions here. But it is great to have everybody here, to have the AAU Sullivan Award back at the New York Athletic Club. But first and foremost, let's give our finalists a big round of applause. Congratulations, guys. So I'm very happy to see the Sullivan Award back here at the New York Athletic Club. 2019 was the last time that it was here, and we're about tradition, and I know you guys are about tradition, so let's try and keep that tradition going. It's a great tradition. And when we look back, there's a long history, and I know a couple of people have touched on it already, between the New York Athletic Club and the AAU. The NYAC was founded in 1868. In fact, we just celebrated our 155th anniversary last week. So that's a long time, so we must be doing something right. But also the AAU was formed 20 years later. That was in 1888 by James Campbell. That was 135 years ago. That's a long time ago. So you guys are doing a lot of good stuff too. So congratulations. And when the AAU was founded, it was headquartered here at the New York Athletic Club. So we certainly do have a lot in common, where we look to support our athletes, our amateur athletes, and that is basically our mission statement, which also aligns with your fundamental principles. So that is something that I am very happy to have you guys here tonight. So you guys can also, I was down earlier today, I was down in the Hall of Fame room on the second floor, and there's a replica Sullivan Award trophy that's prominently displayed down there. So if any of you guys get a chance later, please go down to the second floor, take a look around. We are very proud of our athletes here at the club. Right now we have a total, between athletes and coaches that we sponsor, we have a total of 737 individuals. And our athletes have won a total of 291 Olympic medals, and of which 164 of those are gold medals. And 5 Paralympic medals, 2 of which are gold. So I was speaking with my oldest son, Robbie. He did sports management, and I had told him a couple of weeks ago about this award, and he looked up the athletes that are here tonight and looked at their bios. And well, he knew all about you guys already, of course, because you guys are the top of the chain. And but when he read your bios, it was just super impressive. So congratulations to all of you guys. I'm certainly not going to attempt to even touch on it. I think everybody here knows these athletes, and their accomplishments are really, congratulations. But of course, being from the New York Athletic Club, we do have one of our favorites. We do have a young lady here who grew up in Westchester and swam at our Travers Island complex up in Westchester, and is currently an athletic member here. And Kate Douglas, thank you. So again, I would just say welcome back to the New York Athletic Club. We're very excited to have you guys here, and I hope you have a great evening, and please make it down to our Hall of Fame room if you get the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, John. I am super excited to introduce our keynote speaker next, if I don't knock this mic off of the podium. So he has dedicated the last 40 years of his life to sports journalism, and as somebody who has worked in sports journalism and has had the honor of covering all of these amazing athletes, that is certainly quite the feat, and he has most proudly created a program called the Sports Journalism Institute, which promotes diversity and inclusion in sports journalism, specifically in the print and digital mediums. So I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, who is the editor-at-large for The Athletic, Leon Carter.
Thank you for that introduction. You know, I was listening to Call, and guess what? You gave your speech from an iPad, but I'm going to give mine from notes because I left the iPad at home. So when I got to the New York Times offices this afternoon, after a couple of meetings, and the New York Times owns The Athletic, I looked into my briefcase, and the iPad wasn't there. So I said, let me just put a few words together. So thanks for the introduction. Thanks for the invite. I think the last time I was here, we had a session with Eli Manning, and I think I was at ESPN at that time. And they had just won the Super Bowl. We need them to win again. It's been so long. Also like to congratulate the Sullivan Award finalists. I've met some of them. I've read about the others, particularly the one who has thrown a perfect game. I met Jordan Crooks last night, swimmer from the Cayman Islands. Talked to Zach Edey earlier. Can you believe he's coming back to Purdue? When do we hear about an athlete going back to school? They all leave. And also, I saw that, we talked about Kate Douglas. She's from University of Virginia. Well, that is my hometown. So congratulations to all the finalists. And when I get a chance to speak to young people, I get excited because despite what you hear in the media, they recharge me because I know that the future is in good hands when you talk to them. So in my brief remarks tonight, I want to take you back to 1997, and I was an assistant sports editor at the New York Daily News. And 1997 was the 50th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in baseball. And we were putting together a special section, and we did a tremendous job on that special section, and we won a lot of awards. But of all the words that were in that special section, there were these words that stuck out to me. A life is not important except in the impact that it has on other lives. Now just think about that for a moment. A life is not important except in the impact that it has on other lives. Now, those words hit me in 1997, but I didn't understand it fully until later in life. And to understand it tonight, I'm going to take you back to my journey. I grew up in Virginia on a farm, and that is the farthest thing from New York City. And we lived in a modest house on a hill. And when you come down from the hill from the main road, you make a long trek from the road to the river. And as you walk that road, you see the cow pastures, the pig pens, the cornfields, the tobacco fields. And my brothers and I, we worked from sunup to sundown. And it was a lot of hard work. And then you get to the river, you turn back, and you have to make that long trip back. And then you get back to the house up on the hill. And I visited that house recently, and there was this picnic bench. And that is where I used to sit and write stories and talk into a tape recorder. I did not have any role models growing up who wanted to become a journalist in this poor little town in Virginia that is sort of in between Lynchburg and Danville, Virginia. It's called South Boston, Virginia, or Halifax County. And I used to run to the mailbox, rewrite the stories, and that's where it all began to me. Then to the right, I take a look at the house. The house now is worn by a bunch of storms. So I get to the front door. I can't go in because Mom and Dad is no longer with us. My dad saw a lot of my accomplishments. My mother didn't see too many. We lost her at the age of 52. And just when you are in your darkest hour, a light came to me. Because my mom used to help a lot of young people in the neighborhoods, those who played sports and whatever, and those who went to church and things like that. She used to help a lot of young people in the neighborhood. And I applied for this fellowship, and I got it. And this fellowship allowed me to create a sports journalism institute that will train women and minorities to get into this profession. We help them get their first internship so that they can end up covering some of our Sullivan Award finalists and winners and things like that. To give you a better idea of what the Sports Journalism Institute is about, can we roll the tape, please?
SJI changed the face of the sports journalism industry.
I can unequivocally say that I would not be here today if not for the SJI program.
SJI was the best experience of my life. We're not just learning from journalists who are among the best. I mean, we are learning from journalists who are the best.
When I was accepted to SJI, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
It was intense. It made me cry, but it also gave me immense confidence.
Every single lesson at SJI made me feel like I was getting closer to where I wanted to be, which was to become a professional journalist.
Being in that room with all of those really remarkable students, it was an amazing learning opportunity.
It's like going to the Harvard of sports journalism.
If I could survive this week, I could survive anything in journalism.
The skills it teaches you, the mentors you gain, and the Institute's members are a recipe for success.
Being alongside like-minded individuals.
You shared that same passion. For me, was really life-changing.
It's one of the best journalism experiences I've ever had.
I'm not sure where I would be without everything that SJI has given me, but I know I'm not alone. There are so many people who could be sitting right where I am and saying all the same things.
Without SJI, I don't feel as if I would have had the appropriate start to my career.
Don't do what's easy. Do something that is difficult. Your job as a sports reporter is just not going out and covering the game. We are here to make you better.
A lot of people look at our industry and wonder why we don't have more diversity, but they don't do anything about it.
As minorities in this industry, there can be a lot of internal and external pressure to change who you are. I learned from SJI, you can be who you are. You don't have to change yourself to be able to fit in or succeed.
A lot of people have said a lot of great things about this program, but you really don't know how great and amazing this program is until you come and until you do it.
And that is SJI. And when I hear these students talk, and some of those, I think we've had 400 graduates. Many have gone on to do great things. ESPN just hired our 22nd alum just last week. We have a dozen working at The Athletic. We have others working at the New York Times, the Washington Post, LA Times, and Fox Sports. But when I hear them talk, it takes me back to those words that I started out with. A life is not important, except in the impact that you have on other lives. So I say to the Sullivan Awards finalists, You have done great things. But the greatest thing that you can do is give back as you make your journey in life. You know, I would like for you to stand tall as you go through your journey. Stand tall like someone like Charlie Ward, who's here tonight, who has done great things since he left the Knicks and has started his own foundation and has trained or has mentored to a lot of young people who want to be basketball players. I spoke to Charlie prior to this ceremony, and I said, why do you do what you do? And his answer was simple. I just want to give back. And that is the message I would like to leave you with today. Stand tall. And you know, when I think about walking from the road to the river, I have to stand tall because that's what taught me my discipline. You know, when I think about winning the Red Smith Award, which is the highest honor that a print journalist can win, I won that in 2022. Stand tall. And you know, in my journey, as you will find, you will see people who will not be with you. There will be many people who will be with you, but there will be some who will not. Stand tall in the face of adversity. When people say you can't do something, stand tall. And I start my day also with another set of words. And it comes from an old gospel song, Still Standing Tall. And it goes something like this, and I will close with this. After all these years, we are still standing tall. God is on our side. Never did he let us fall. Some said we couldn't make it. Others said we couldn't take it. But I'm here to say through it all, we are still standing tall. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leon, for sharing your story and also all the strides that you're making in sports journalism. As a journalist, we certainly appreciate that. At this point in time, it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage back President Mirza alongside our National Sullivan Chair, Jim Fox.
Got to get this right. If I can have Jarmenio Jonas on the award as well also. Come on, please. Several years back, we started a program up in Albany. It was called we called it, come on, Joe, over here, please. We want everybody to see you. We started a program in Albany. It was called the Urban Initiative. And it was basically designed for us to work with kids in the inner city, as well as in the county that were poor, that were underprivileged. And we wanted to do is work with them through sport. So what we did was we formed a partnership with the law enforcement, faith-based organizations, and city government. Program, Albany, small. So we had the great idea, let's come to New York. So my dear friend, Mr. Joe Armenio here, who's introduced to me by Chairman Fox of the Sullivan Committee, said, oh, I know this great guy. And 7 years ago, we went to his office. It was in Brooklyn. And we said, hey, we want to start this program. You know what? He didn't even bat an eye. He said yes. Once in a lifetime, we have the fortune to meet and befriend truly a great human being. I had that honor 7 years ago. Chief Madry, Chief of Department for the NYPD, through his vision, his caring heart, is creating an amazing legacy in New York. He has a sense of community for the kids. He really does. The space that he's creating in New York is safe and nurturing. That's the key words. Safe, but very nurturing. We don't have to imagine cops and kids playing with each other. You know why? Because we see it now, all the time. It's incredible. He has created an environment that fosters healthy competition and healthy environment for us. Just one example. This past weekend, we had a most amazing event. And it wasn't the UN, and it wasn't President Biden and Joe Biden coming here. It was in Times Square. We put up 3 basketball courts. Oh, you know, I'm getting everything wrong, Carl, right? Am I off? We put 5 up. Because I know, you know why? Because this guy put them down with the help of, we volunteered to put these down. I'm being serious, so he knows. Imagine 3-on-3, the inaugural NYPD AAU basketball event in Times Square. Basketball in Times Square. Could you, is there a little segment we can run over here, please? Please, go ahead. Imagine, seriously, imagine this when you're 8 or 9 or 10 years old, and we had some older boys and girls as well also, playing in Times Square. They're never going to forget this. And we had this because of his vision and his support. Chief Madry is the gold standard for community service. You really are. I'm telling you that. He's created a sense of family that's caring for each and every child in this city. It's from my great heart, from my heart, that we take great pride and joy in presenting the AAU Humanitarian Award to Chief of Department, Chief Madry. Please come on up there. Chief.
Thank you.
Please, a few words for us, please.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes, I'm putting the chief on the spot.
Thank you. No
Please.
problem. Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. This is a tremendous honor here. I don't even know where to begin. Being on this stage here at the Athletic Club, at an event where so many top athletes are recognized. Just to receive this award is really humbling. Really, really is humbling. Of course, I want to thank our president, President Joe, Mr. Jim, I don't call last names, and of course, Joe Sr., who I was introduced because his son is one of my cops, and he told me, he called me years ago, he said, "Hey, Chief, my father wants to reach out to you, something about sports." I'm like, all right. Well, you know. I'm a police chief. I was the chief of Brooklyn at the time. I'm out there fighting crime, trying to save lives. I said, what do you want to talk to me about sports for? But when he called me, and he said, hey, I have an opportunity. We're trying to create something here where we're working with young people, and we'd like to partner with you. Maybe we can bring some young people together, the police department, and AAU, and do some things for young people to try and keep them off the streets. And I was about a year into my position, and I was always constantly fighting and thinking about what can I do different? How can I step out traditional lines of law enforcement to keep communities safe. You know, it's not always good guys and bad guys, cops and robbers. I wanted to do something different. So when I thought about what Joe Sr. said to me, I said, you know what, this is an incredible opportunity because AAU is going to give me a platform, resources, where I could bring young kids together, kids who live on one side of the street and can't cross to the other side of the street because if they do, they may get hurt, they may get shot. And through this partnership with AAU, this platform, I was able to pull together resources and create this opportunity where I could start bringing these young boys and girls together and start playing ball, basketball. We played football. We started 7 years ago right on a small field in East New York. And then we moved over to the BRC, the Brownsville Recreational Center. And then during the height of COVID, we wound up putting together a tournament where we had kids playing all over the city. And then we wound up having a championship out there at the Hempstead Center. And then this weekend, we were able to bring kids, dozens of kids, to the epicenter of the world, Times Square. All right, we had young people playing right in front of those red steps. And there were so many people, tourists, families, businesses, who were just so amazed at what was going on and what they saw with these young people, boys and girls, playing sports. It was incredible. Thank you for that opportunity. AAU, thank you for that opportunity. So, I got to think of something. We have to think of something bigger for next year. Times Square takeover it's gone. We have to do something bigger next year. Just in our absence, I just want to thank my wife for all her support, my children, my family, my older brother who's sitting over there, Derek, who's a ref for AAU basketball for many years. My older brother who introduced me to sports, he was 5 years older than me. I started learning about sports when he thought he was Tony Dorsett or Tom Seaver. He introduced me to sports. And as brothers, my two younger brothers and my extended family, you know, our family was always brought together with sports, and it still is brought together with sports. We always get together to watch big games. So thank you. And to all of the finalists, I was an athlete in high school too, but I lacked a couple of things that you all have, and it wasn't your height. What I didn't have, which I know you all have, is the drive, the commitment, and the discipline to put that hard work in every day, every single day, to work out when you don't want to work out, to skip that piece of cake because you know it's not good for you. All of that discipline and commitment that you have, I lacked it. So I salute you. I salute you. Congratulations to all of you, and no matter who's standing at the end, you are all champions in my book. So, God bless you. AAU, thank you. Everyone, thank you. This is a tremendous honor. I'm just humbled. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Jacqueline? Go ahead, Chief.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. And the AAU really is such an incredible organization. I personally come from a big wrestling family out of Western PA, so it's all like 5'3" Italian men that wrestle that I've watched my whole life. My older brother, who I actually watched wrestle at a ton of AAU tournaments, and I was sweating, keeping score, trying to not watch my brother get in a headlock. He is here with me today, supporting me. Give the thumbs up. I also cheered and danced through the AAU growing up, and one of my teammates, Kayla, is still here with me, and she is supporting me as well. So all that to say is that when I connected with all of the finalists, they all mentioned their families, their support system, their teammates. That was the biggest takeaway when I asked them, you know, your experience as an amateur athlete or with the AAU. And they really are such incredible people, have incredible support systems. And I'm so excited to introduce them and have you get to know them. But we do have a video previewing all of our finalists, if we can take a look. And at this time, I'd like to welcome President Mirza back to the stage and all of our finalists to come up on stage as well. I'm really excited. Is this on? No. Hello, hello. There we go. I'm excited to speak with all of them individually and let you guys see how wonderful, you know, human beings they are. So I'm going to have you guys come over one by one, chat a little bit, get to know you, and I'll start with Caitlin Clark. See if your mic's on. Okay, perfect. Caitlin, of course, as you guys know, was a part of the team that led Iowa women's basketball to their first ever national championship appearance. So first of all, congratulations on being here. And you know, Caitlin, when I was doing kind of a deep dive on your background and you, I read that 11 of your family members played college athletics. Is that right?
That is true.
Okay. I was just curious, out of all of the 11, who do you think would give you the most trouble in a one-on-one basketball matchup?
Well, my older brother would say him.
Okay.
He actually played football at Iowa State, so our house is a family divided. But I had an older cousin that played basketball at Creighton, so that's who I kind of looked up to growing up. She played at the same high school as me, and she kind of inspired me to play basketball. So I would say probably her, but they all still think that they can beat me one-on-one. A lot of them are older than me now, so they don't even play sports anymore. But yeah, a lot of them would still take themselves, but that wouldn't happen.
Okay, so definitely not the brother. And so also for your season, it doesn't start for another month and a half, and the season tickets are already sold out for Iowa women's basketball. How does it feel to be a part of a program and be a part of that team that has really put Iowa women's basketball in the spotlight?
Yeah, I don't think it's only like women's basketball. I think it's women's sports in general has kind of taken off, and I'm a big fan of women's sports, whether it's swimming, whether it's gymnastics, whether it's softball. You can just go down the line, and the viewership is really taking off. But like you said, we've sold out 15,000 tickets every single game in Carver Hawkeye Arena next year, which is pretty incredible and unheard of for women's sports. So yeah, it's pretty special. And we actually play an exhibition basketball game inside our football stadium, and we sold over 50,000 tickets for that. And all the proceeds will be going to the Children's Hospital, which actually overlooks our football stadium. So pretty cool event there, and we're just hoping for good weather because obviously basketball is not usually played outside. So, but no, it should be super cool. And I'm lucky to play in a state that treats their college athletics like professional sports. We don't have any professional sports teams in Iowa, so the Iowa Hawkeyes are the end-all be-all for the state of Iowa.
Yeah. That's amazing. And one last question for you. I was reading an article from a local news station in Des Moines, and they were interviewing little girls who were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and all of them were saying, I want to be Caitlin Clark. I want to, go in this skills camp, and I want to be like her. Mm-hmm. What is your message, and how does it make you feel when you see younger girls wanting to pursue athletics, and they're saying, I want to be Caitlin Clark?
Yeah, it's really cool, and I think it takes you back for a second, and I feel like I was just in their shoes. I was just that young girl that, was playing soccer, playing softball, playing basketball, and really had a dream that they could do whatever they wanted to. And I think, like Carl said, life moves so fast. I feel like I was just in their shoes, and so I think the biggest thing for them is just to continue to dream big, and I always try to take as much time as I can if they want a picture or an autograph to make time for them because, 1 second of your day can change their entire life. So I think it's pretty cool and special to be in the position that I am.
Thank you so much, Caitlin, and congrats. And our next finalist is fresh off, a College World Series win, was just drafted number 2 overall to the Washington Nationals, so Dylan Cruz. Dylan, congratulations. I know we were talking about this before, but I'm a Florida Gator, so I was telling you congratulations on the College World Series. No, but in all seriousness, congrats. It's been a quick turnaround from the College World Series into the majors. What has that been like for you, that journey?
Yeah, it's been a crazy couple months for sure. It's all happened so fast. It's been really, really, really tough to kind of settle down and enjoy every moment that I've had. But going to college and all that, it's really helped me to be present every single day. So from winning the national championship to getting drafted to having 2 more weeks to train and then playing 25 more games. It was tough. It was a tough transition, but the game doesn't change. So it was good, and I enjoyed it. So I'm ready for next year.
And how old were you when you started playing baseball?
I was about 5 years old, I think.
And playing baseball at 5, what did that teach you all the way up into the professional level?
Oh man, enjoy every moment for sure. It's like they say, it just flies by so fast, and enjoying all these moments. It's you can't take any moment for granted, and it's been an awesome ride, awesome journey, and it's just getting started though.
And something that I thought was really, really special is you were so passionate, you and your family, about giving back to the community. And with LSU, you purchased 4 tickets for every home game, and you would donate those tickets to a family that had a child with special needs. Tell me how that came about.
Yeah, I got introduced to Aubrey White, who is a little girl who's you know, it's a cool story. She doesn't speak. She's nonverbal, and she was watching our game one time, and my name was announced on TV, and she said my name, and that was like her first word she's ever said. So, and her parents were yeah. So having my name be the first word she's ever said is pretty awesome. It's a really heartwarming feeling, and so they pretty much introduced me to the whole, you know, giving back to kids and giving back to kids with special needs, and so yeah, every home game that we had, we gave tickets to kids with special needs or to a family who has a member with special needs, and you know, just to see the smiles on those kids' faces every day. You know, a lot of times people don't know that those kids don't have friends, that they don't have, you know, they don't get invited to birthday parties, and just to, you know, give back and invite them to a game, and just to see those smiles on those kids' faces, it beats every reward, every moment that I've had in sports, so it's awesome.
And it's something you want to bring. You want to bring it to the national level too, correct?
For sure, yeah. I hope to start my own foundation one day to, you know, kids with special needs, and just making this thing a whole lot bigger than it already is.
All right, congratulations, Dylan. Thank you. All right, and next up we have a national champ, an SEC champ, a guy who has broken a lot of records. I was going down the list, Jordan Crooks. Hey, Jordan, congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to, first of all, I got to meet your lovely family several times, and I know that you have your sister who is following in your footsteps. She's going to Tennessee. How does that make you feel that you guys have that bond not only over swimming, but maybe someone that could break your records?
It feels good. She's definitely really talented, and you know, I love her to death, and I'm really excited that she's coming to my school. I feel like it means a lot to me that I was able to, you know, kind of influence her to go there, and I'm excited to see what she'll do when she gets there. I know she'll do well.
Awesome. Can't wait to see what you know the future has in store for her. When we're going down talking about a lot of the big names that won this award, there are some big swimmers out there. Who did you idolize as a swimmer when you were growing up and watching?
Some of the swimmers I idolized growing up were Michael Phelps, Anthony Irvin, who's here over there, and Caleb Jessel. Those are kind of my top three that I've always, you know, idolized, looked at, and kind of wanted to be like growing up.
And when you picked up swimming as a young kid, how does that help you now with all of your accomplishments and your setting records in the 50 free, ran it or swam at sub 18? When you started so young, how does that help you all the way into your career at this point?
It's definitely, I think, swimming at a young age, it set me up to kind of, you know, just, sorry. It wasn't my first love. My first love was basketball, ironically. I didn't intend to swim. I really wanted to play in the NBA. I believed I would at about 8 years old. I was convinced I was going to the NBA. But life had a different path for me, and I'm really grateful the way it turned out. But I think starting off with swimming was kind of like the groundwork for what I need to do. It gave me a lot of lessons in time management, diligence, and just being grateful for what I have and what I can do at that time. And I'm really glad that I stuck with it.
Yeah, it worked out. Jordan, you're from the Cayman Islands, and I read an article where you said, I grew up in the most beautiful place on earth. What was it like growing up there, and how many young swimmers from the Cayman Islands must be looking up to you?
It's a beautiful place. Once again, I'm really grateful that I was able to grow up there. The whole island has been supportive throughout this whole process, and I felt like growing up, I mean, the entire island felt like one big family. And looking back at the little kids coming behind me, even my sister when she was younger, it meant a lot to, you know, kind of represent them and show them that there is a possibility just because you come from a small place that might not have been heard of. You know, you can do big things and you can accomplish things that, you know, you set out to do.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jordan.
Thank you.
Our next nominee, who is with USA Gymnastics and UCLA Gymnastics, couldn't be with us this evening, but we do have a video for Jordan Childs.
Hey, it's Jordan Childs here. First, let me start out by saying what an absolute honor to be a finalist for the 93rd AAU Sullivan Award. When you look at the history of the award, I'm grateful to be among some of the greatest in amateur sports. Unfortunately, I'm unable to celebrate with you tonight. You will never guess why. Yep, my gymnastics schedule. On the same day we are being honored as finalists, I will be competing for a spot on our World's Championship team. I'm sad I can't spend the evening with you all, but when sports and duty call, we answer. It's what makes each of us special. The AAU Sullivan Award is important to me because it moves past being good at gymnastics. It means that I was a good leader, that my character spoke loudly, and that I was recognized as having good sportsmanship. My mom always told me that she'd rather have a good human than a good gymnast, so strive to be both. I believe everyone being honored here today did just that. Caitlin, Dylan, Jordan, love your name by the way, Katie, and Zach. I'm honored to be listed in such phenomenal company. I hope to meet you all in person one day and keep being amazing. Love you guys.
An awesome message from Jordan there. I want to welcome up our next finalist, who is an Olympic medalist, a 15-time national champ, Kate Douglas. Hey, Kate, congratulations. Thanks for being here. This is a full circle moment for you. You started swimming when you were 7 years old, and you swam in the summer league for the New York Athletic Club. So how has it been being back? Has it been like just deja vu?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is an awesome full circle moment. I learned to swim at the New York Athletic Club Summer Club, Travers Island, back in my hometown, Pelham, New York. So that's just really awesome that, I learned to swim there, and, back in the spring, I finally signed and became a New York Athletic Club athlete. And so to kind of continue my athletic career as a professional, being sponsored by the New York Athletic Club, it's just, a really awesome feeling and a total full circle moment. And I just want to thank New York Athletic Club for providing me with all that opportunity that I've had.
Of course. And so at 13 years old, you qualified for the Olympic trials back in 2016, which is incredible. I can't even imagine being on that stage as a 13-year-old. How did that set you up for success looking ahead?
Yeah, being at Olympic trials back in 2016, I was super scared. I was a little 13-year-old girl who was kind of just walking around staring at all of the Olympic medalists being like, what am I doing here? I didn't swim very well at that meet. I was kind of just happy to be there. But that definitely set me up for the next time around back in 2021. I was ready to go there with some goals. I was excited. I was one of the bigger names then, and all those little girls were kind of looking up to me, and that was a super cool feeling. So yeah, I think it kind of just helped motivate me for the next time around.
When you joined UVA Swimming and Diving in 2017, the program was not what it is now. Now, if you go on all their social media channels, it says back-to-back champions. What has it been like being a part of that program, seeing it from 2017 all the way to now winning 3 straight national championships?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a reason why I wanted to go to Virginia. I wanted to be a part of growing that program to what I knew it could be. And when they hired Coach Todd DeSorbo, he got me really excited about kind of being part of growing a program like that. And so, yeah, I think it's just been super cool to be a big part of that, because I've loved my time at UVA, and I'm so excited to see what the future of the program brings, and I'm really happy that I was a part of that.
I have to end. I have to end with a really hard-hitting question. What is your favorite Taylor Swift song?
My favorite Taylor Swift song, that's a pretty easy one. It's always been Our Song. That's one of her earlier ones. I'm a big country music fan, so I like the country version of Taylor.
We bonded over the fact that we both went to see Taylor Swift over the last year, so I had to save it for the audience to get the big answer.
I had an answer, don't worry.
Thank you, Gabe.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Next up is somebody who is very tall, and every time I'm interviewing him, I'm looking straight up. A Big Ten champ who swept all of the National Player of the Year awards this past basketball season, Zach Edey. Hey, Zach, just how tall are you?
7'4".
7'4", okay. So you're 2 feet taller than me. We'll make this work. 2 feet-ish. Math is not my thing. So you were ranked 436th in the high school recruiting rankings when you were a high school senior. Going from that to sweeping all of the National Player of the Year awards, where did you find that self-motivation to say, I don't care if I'm ranked 456th, I'm gonna go pursue basketball?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy journey. The coaches, I can't thank them enough for what they've done for me, instilling that confidence in me. Like, I was not ranked wrong. I was the 436th guy in my class. The coaches really helped me kind of take those steps forward and build confidence, build my game, and here I'm standing here now.
Something else that I thought was very interesting, you shared with us that you ate sushi before every single home game. Why? Like, that would not be my first choice of food if I was about to drop like 25 points in a basketball game, but why sushi? Like, what's the story behind that?
I mean, one time I had it before me and my mom back in high school.
Okay.
I had it before a game, and I probably played pretty well, and I like sushi, so it was a pretty good excuse to just have it before every game.
So it was all a plan.
Exactly.
Okay. You were also a multi-sport athlete, and you didn't pick up basketball until you were 16. You played hockey and baseball. What message do you have to younger kids who are like, I don't really know which sport I want to do. I like a lot of sports. What would you tell them?
I think sometimes people over-specialize in sports. They can burn out, they can get injuries. I think you should just play sports for the love of the game. I don't think you should really try to be this, be that, be everything. Like, you just play sports, work hard, try your best, be your best. If it doesn't work out, if sports are supposed to work out for you, they're going to work out for you. Just give your all every day.
And we already talked about it earlier in the program, but you are coming back to Purdue. What are you most looking forward to?
There's a lot of things. Winning basketball games, having a lot of fun. Just being around my teammates every day is the main thing, though. It's a great group of guys. I really love them. And
you wear number 15 for Purdue, but there's a story behind that. So tell us the story.
So when I was first playing baseball, like when I was like 6 or probably 8 years old, we played a little T-ball league, and there was 14 guys on our roster, and the jerseys were numbered. 1 was the smallest jersey, 14 was the biggest, and I couldn't fit the 14 jersey, so I took my coaches.
And it stuck, so now you're still 15 at Purdue. So now we all know the story. Congratulations, Zach, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
And at this time, I'd like to welcome President Mirza back to the stage.
Before I open this, please, a round of applause for phenomenal champions. I wish we would give 6 of these away, and you guys are great. Thank you. The 93rd AAU Sullivan Award winner, Caitlin Clark.
thank you. First of all, thank you to the AAU, not only for the prestigious award, but also just the amazing event tonight. It's actually my first time in New York City. I've been to quite a few places, but this was like one of the last places on my list that I needed to get to, and I'm here for less than 24 hours, so that didn't work out too well, but I will have to come back. And then congratulations to all of you. It's been tremendous meeting you. You're all just as deserving as I am, so I'm big fans of every single one of you, so I'll be rooting for each of you going forward. And then my parents are here tonight over here. My dad was actually my first ever AAU basketball coach, so this is kind of a full circle moment, and I grew up playing a lot of AAU sports, whether it was softball, basketball, soccer. I did it all, and I actually grew up playing with the boys. That's all I knew until I was in about 4th grade, so I give that a lot of credit for the person I am today, but also the player kind of pushed me and made me maybe a little too feisty if you've ever watched me. I'm a little feisty out there, but no, I love them, and they've been my rock, and my 2 brothers aren't here today, but they've picked on me, like I said earlier, they've picked on me more than anybody, and I kind of held my own, gave them a few concussions and staples in the head, so sorry, Mom, about that, but yeah, other than that, my teammates and my coaches obviously aren't here tonight, but the reason I went to Iowa was to be able to do something different and take them to a place they really hadn't been. We've been to 1 Final Four, we've never been to the national championship game, and like I said earlier, our state and really our entire country has really rallied around not only women's basketball, but women's sports in general. So it's been really incredible to see that. And, I hope I can continue to push women's sports forward and be an advocate for that. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. This is a tremendous honor, and I'm lucky I get to share the room with all of you. So thank you to the AAU, and I hope everybody has an amazing night.
How about one more round of applause for Caitlin and all of the finalists? So I think that wraps it up for our evening. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this, the New York Athletic Club, the AAU. It's been a tremendous evening honoring all of these finalists and their incredible accomplishments and who they are as people. If you guys can hang tight, because we're going to get some group pictures. But thank you so much, everyone, for a wonderful evening.